Welcome to today's Explainer. Cholera isn't just your standard run-of-the-mill bug. It is a profound biological crisis that demands an absolutely immediate, meticulously layered medical response. Today, we're looking at a real masterclass in medical strategy. We're breaking down a specific protocol designed to combat a pathogen that can literally bring the human body to the brink in just a matter of hours. When the Vibrio cholerae bacterium takes hold, it doesn't just make you sick. It basically hijacks your gut's cellular machinery. Okay, let's dive into this and explore exactly how these distinct treatments layer together into a unified counteroffensive.
So, what exactly goes into the treatment of cholera? We hear about this illness in history books, right? It feels like a relic of the past. But the reality? It's a starkly modern medical challenge. To understand why the treatment toolkit has to be so complex, get this. In severe cases, cholera can force the human body to lose up to a full liter of fluid every single hour. I mean, think about that. That's a catastrophic rate of dehydration that outpaces almost any other infectious disease out there. Because the biological attack is so rapid, so overwhelming, the medical response can't just be a single simple intervention. No way. It has to be a deliberate, multi-layered strategy designed to tackle the immediate physiological crisis, neutralize the underlying bacterial threat, and repair the massive collateral damage left behind.
And here is the roadmap for that toolkit. We've got 5 distinct pillars: rehydration therapy, antibiotic therapy, micronutrients, the oral cholera vaccine, and probiotic therapy. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is that it forms a completely synergistic spectrum of care. We aren't just looking at one magic pill here. Instead, imagine a biological battlefield where each of these pillars plays a highly specialized role. Some are your frontline medics, some act as the heavy artillery, and others, well, they're the reconstruction crew. It's a highly structured protocol that tackles those life-threatening symptoms, actively hunts down the root bacterial cause, and then systematically rebuilds the body's natural defenses right from the ground up. So let's step onto that battlefield and break down exactly how each phase of this treatment actually works. Pillar number 1, rehydration therapy. In a GI illness defined by that massive, rapid fluid loss we just talked about, this is your absolute frontline defense. I mean, you can't start rebuilding a house if it's still actively on fire, right? But here's the really wild biological detail. You can't put out this specific fire just by drinking regular water. Cholera toxins mess up the intestines so badly that plain water simply isn't absorbed. It just passes right through. That is exactly why medical professionals rely on oral rehydration salts, or ORS, alongside IV fluids for the really severe cases. ORS is this precise, scientifically calculated mix of water, salts, and sugar. It basically hacks a specific pathway in the gut called the sodium-glucose co-transport mechanism. The glucose acts like a tiny molecular key, unlocking the cellular doors to pull sodium and water directly back into the bloodstream. It's elegant, it's immediate, and it is absolutely crucial for stabilizing a patient whose system is rapidly crashing. Okay, so once that initial stabilization is actually underway and the patient isn't in immediate danger of severe dehydration anymore, the protocol shifts aggressively to offense. And that brings us to pillar 2, antibiotic therapy. We aren't just going to passively replace lost fluids forever. Targeted antibiotics are deployed to actively fight the Vibrio cholerae bacteria itself. Think of this as the heavy artillery. By bringing in specific classes of antibiotics, the medical team is trying to hit 2 crucial biological goals. First, it drastically shortens the overall duration of the illness, basically stopping the bacteria from pumping out its devastating toxin. And second, which is huge from a public health standpoint, it significantly reduces bacterial shedding. That means the patient stops being highly contagious much, much faster, effectively cutting off the pathogen's ability to spread to anyone else. It's a dual-purpose weapon. Eliminate the root cause directly at the source while simultaneously containing the broader threat. Let's move to and see how this builds. With the bacteria actively under attack, the body's cellular infrastructure is desperately crying out for reinforcements. Enter pillar 3, micronutrients. This is where the medical strategy gets incredibly fascinating from a holistic standpoint. See, it's not just about balancing fluids and killing bugs. A patient's biological reserves are completely drained during a severe bout of cholera, and the delicate lining of the intestines, it's taken a massive beating. So introducing specific micronutrients, most notably zinc, is a vital, highly calculated step. Zinc is a powerhouse for cellular repair and immune function. Down in the gut, it specifically helps regenerate the enterocytes. Those are the specialized cells lining the intestinal wall that the cholera toxin damaged in the first place. By supplementing zinc, the protocol actively fast-tracks the biological repair process. It reduces the severity of ongoing symptoms and helps the immune system regain its footing. It's precision nutritional support designed to literally reconstruct the cellular battlefield. Next up is pillar 4,
And this brilliantly illustrates the comprehensive, strategic nature of this whole protocol, the oral cholera vaccine. Now, normally we think of vaccines strictly as preventative measures, right? Stuff you take months or years in advance. So why on earth is a vaccine included in an active treatment and management toolkit? Well, it all comes down to reactive strategic deployment. During an active outbreak, the oral cholera vaccine is often used in what's known as reactive or ring vaccination campaigns. While they're treating acutely ill patients, medical teams will rapidly deploy the vaccine to their immediate contacts and the surrounding community. It basically creates a buffer zone. Plus, it protects recovering populations in highly endemic areas from getting immediately reinfected while their biological defenses are still down. So it's this highly specialized, targeted tool serving not just as a long-term shield, but as an immediate tactical maneuver to just choke out the spread of the disease. Finally, the recovery phase brings us to our fifth and final pillar, probiotic therapy. I want you to think about the intense biological disruption caused by this illness, which is then compounded by the necessary but massive impact of those antibiotics we discussed back in Pillar 2. Let's be honest here. The heavy artillery of antibiotics doesn't exactly take prisoners when it comes to your microbiome. The patient's natural, healthy gut flora gets completely wiped out right alongside the cholera bacteria. So probiotic therapy steps in as the vital long-term reconstruction phase. It introduces high doses of beneficial bacteria to rapidly colonize the gut, outcompete any of those lingering harmful pathogens, and restore proper digestive balance. This phase isn't just some quick fix. This microscopic repopulation can actually dictate the patient's digestive health and immune response for months following the infection. It ensures a truly sustainable recovery, providing that essential finishing touch to leave the patient truly healed, not just surviving. When we synthesize these 5 elements, a brilliant medical strategy emerges. So the crucial point is that these aren't just 5 isolated treatments acting independently of one another. Not at all. They form a meticulously unified biological narrative. Pillar 1's rehydration keeps the patient alive long enough for Pillar 2's antibiotics to neutralize the threat. The antibiotics stop the ongoing damage, which sets the exact stage required for Pillar 3's micronutrients to actually repair the cellular walls. Then, Pillar 4's reactive vaccination secures the perimeter against reinfection and community spread, while Pillar 5's probiotics rebuild the internal ecosystem for the long haul. It is a highly structured, totally seamless protocol designed to target the illness, stabilize the patient, and rebuild their health from literally every conceivable biological angle. It truly is a remarkable, logically structured response to a deeply complex medical challenge. Seeing this biological journey laid out, step by step, really gives us a profound understanding of modern medicinal synergy. But it also leaves us with an important final thought to close out our explainer today. With such a comprehensive toolkit available, how important is it to ensure all 5 elements are actually utilized together for optimal health and a complete recovery? Think about it. If you remove just one of these pillars, say if you kill the bacteria but fail to repair the cellular lining with zinc, or if you rehydrate the patient but leave their microbiome completely decimated, does the entire foundation of long-term recovery just collapse? Keep that delicate, interconnected balance in mind as you explore how the most effective medical treatments in the world are designed to work together.